Bernard, the executioner Hopkins, says that Errol Spence will not be able to keep Canelo off of him. Canelo will be on him like white on rice, a paper plate, a glass of milk, in a snowstorm. We gonna talk about it. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash App, and the Patreon family. We work. Now, link in the description. Bernard Hopkins did an interview where he talked about the prospects of a potential fight between Canelo Alvarez and Errol Spence. And I'm not going to read what he said verbatim, but if you guys want to watch it, you can watch it. I'm going to paraphrase here. He basically said that Errol Spence is a terrific fighter. He said he has the utmost respect for Errol Spence, but Canelo is on a different level. His ring IQ, his thinking, his size is on a different level. And, you know, if Errol Spence is serious about fighting Canelo Alvarez at 160 and moving up, you know, he said he's missing something. He also says that he won't believe it until the fight is actually announced. They're doing press conferences, fans are getting excited, and that kind of thing. I want to weigh in just on a couple things. Now, there's parts that he said that I agree with, and then there's parts that I disagree with, and I'll explain that in this particular video. So what he said that I agree with is I don't really see the fight happening anytime soon. You know, Errol Spence said he wants to clear out the division. He's going to clean up his side of the streets. So it is a money fight. Canelo versus Errol Spence, both undoubtedly have great names. Actually, Errol Spence outsold Canelo in Texas in the pandemic. Make sure you guys like and also subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notification icon for the latest and greatest. So Errol Spence did 16,000 in Dallas, Arlington, Texas, right where the Cowboys play. And Canelo versus Callum Smith did 10,000, according to the promoter involved in that with Canelo Promotions, Eddie Hearn. So they're both stars. It would be a big fight, but I really don't see it happening. You know, and me personally, I feel the same way time and time again. I'm consistent on my channel, and Errol Spence, there's still work to be done at 47. You know, some people want to see him versus Keith, Terrence Crawford. He still has Sean Porter rematches and stuff like that, and even 54. So I'm not, you know, I got to keep it real. I'm not a fan of like weight class jumping when it's not necessary, right? I said the same thing for Amir Khan when he was moving up to fight Canelo. I said the same thing when Kell Brook was moving up 2 classes to fight against Gennady. Hey, no, guys, and Max Golovkin. So I'm gonna have to keep it consistent with Errol Spence in the same lane. Now, if he keeps working and probably takes a couple more fights and, you know, does submit some stuff and then maybe even go to 54 and then tries to fight Canelo, that'd be one thing. But the reason I don't see this happening is because we got to be real. And I know, and we'll talk about the Canelo, the fanatical Canelo radical fans as well. But the thing is, Canelo just fought at 75 and 68, and now just, you know, beat up a dude at 68, Callum Smith, and they would talk about the fight at 160. You know, so to me, I feel like the weight disparity, it's not likely to happen, because Reynoso already said Canelo won't go back down to 160, but Canelo himself said he would be willing to go to 160 for Errol Spence. So to me, that's already a bad look, because Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade is a champion at 160, and so is Jermall Charlo, and we're talking about a welterweight moving up. And you have Canelo fans who are all about this, and not all of them, but, you know, some Canelo fans, they'll encourage a fight like this. Yeah, you know, I think some fans, they feel like maybe this will be redemption for Mikey Garcia jumping up in weight to fight against Errol Spence, you know, because Errol Spence was the bigger welterweight, and Mikey had fought at 35 and 40, and Mikey was calling him out. So in the same vein, some people are willing to see this, but the reason, the reason that fight, Mikey just did not stop calling him out. So, it got to the point where it's like, all right, whatever. So if Errol Spence keeps calling out Canelo and they could actually facilitate it, then it is what it is, do it. But I don't see it happening. I think it's good promotion. Now, the thing that Bernard Hopkins said that I disagree with is he made it sound like Canelo is being called out by Errol Spence basically just to create like a buzz, like everyone's throwing their name in the hat with Canelo. But that's not the case, because there's interviews. DBN got an interview with Errol Spence from years ago. I think it was in the Mayweather gym. I don't even know when the last time Errol Spence was, in the Mayweather gym training like that. And Errol Spence has been calling out Canelo Alvarez. This is like when Canelo, I think he was still at 54, 55 Canelo weight at the time. So Bernard Hopkins made it sound like Errol Spence is just kind of linking his name with Canelo to build his brand and stuff like that. I think Errol Spence really would fight Canelo. Whether it's advisable, like Mikey Garcia when he said he wanted to fight Errol Spence. I see something, it is what it is. But I don't doubt Errol Spence really wants to fight. And the reason I use is he's been calling out Canelo for quite some time. But I'm not going to spend too much time on this particular video, because all in all, I really do not see it happening. Canelo got a stoppage at 75. He's just got titles at 168, and the WBC threw in a vacant title to that pot. So I don't see it happening, people. People can get all hyped and continue to talk about this. The fighters are going to keep talking about this. It is what it is. But the other thing is, the Bernard Hopkins was saying like Canelo's ring IQ is too crazy and things like that. But timing is everything in boxing. Part of it would be interesting because Canelo would be the favorite. But at the same time, you can't count Errol Spence out, especially if Canelo just fought at 168 and 175. Because one thing we've noticed is against the better, more elite names that put on some type of pace and throw punches, Canelo gets tired in fight. He didn't really get tired in the Callum Smith fight, but at the same time, Callum Smith wasn't really doing much. So it's easier to maintain a certain pace when your opponent ain't pushing no uncomfortable pace. You see what I'm saying? Errol Spence is a voluminous puncher, but he's also a power puncher. He picks his shots. He has one of the highest, if not the highest, current welterweight accuracy, plus or minus. So it would be a good fight with him and Canelo. And Canelo sucking down, I think Canelo is, I don't know. I just think him coming back down in weight, it's doable, but you never know, because Errol Spence would be all the way comfortable, I guess you could say, because he would just be doing less of a weight cut from some of his higher walk around weights. And he would be cutting that extra weight, and he came from 68 and 75. So it's an interesting fight. But again, I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it because I don't see it happening. Just like Bernard Hopkins, he said I have to see press conferences. But he made it sound like Errol Spence doesn't have much of a chance. He wouldn't be able to keep Canelo off of him. But I don't know. I'd have to see it. If it comes down, I'd have to see it. But at the end of the day, Canelo, he's a great fighter. But certain styles make fights, and Canelo, from what I've seen, him excelling, a lot of times it's against styles that he's going to excel with, like Kirkland, no defense. There's some British fighters he fought, and some of them, the ones that he fought, are kind of flat-footed, and there's no like bevy of punches that they're throwing, like hooks and uppercuts. Errol Spence, he has more of an American style. It's just a different fight, so I think the real gauge would be to see Canelo fight against some of the styles that I'm saying, to really see how he would do with an American style. David Benavidez, Caleb Plant, and Jamal Charlo, Demetrius Andre. Those are guys that I need to see Canelo fight, because at the end of the day, Canelo's a great fighter, but you would have to see him against other great fighters with styles to rival his. Like, for example, Juan Manuel Marquez, he's a Mexican legend. He fought any contrast to styles, even when guys had advantages. Like, to beat Pacquiao, Pacquiao was faster. He had faster footwork. He was experienced. Pacquiao too has a chance. Pacquiao too has power. So it's a contrasty style matchup. Juan Manuel Marquez and Manny Pacquiao. Boxing is all about the matchup, people. Styles make fights. Canelo, I gotta see him fight a David Benavidez. That's a guy I think has a great what David Benavidez does well and what Canelo does well. I promise it'll be better than the Callum Smith fight. Win, lose, or draw, it's gonna be a better fight. Same thing with Jamal Charlo. Win, lose, or draw, it don't matter what the outcome is. We're not here. I don't base my channel based on outcomes. I just want to see it. You know, this is still a sport, competitive sport, you know? So anyway, I think people keep harping on this Errol Spence and asking questions about Errol Spence and a fight with Canelo. Canelo's star power, and the other thing is this, Canelo's star power is going to continue to dwindle, in my view, if he doesn't fight certain names. Meanwhile, Errol Spence will continue to rise if he gets the big fights and big events like he's been getting. Like if he fights Manny Pacquiao, I mean, that's a huge fight at AT&T Stadium, right? So we'll see how it all plays out. The other thing that was interesting is Bernard Hopkins is a guy who was doubted and against Kelly Pavlik, and he moved up, I think it was 2 weight classes to fight Antonio Tarver, a guy with skill, but he's saying Errol Spence, like, you know, basically can't do it against Canelo. We'll see, man. I don't see the fight happening. So again, I'm going to wrap this video up. Sign up for ESPN Plus using my link. It does help the channel in a phenomenal way when you guys click on that link. ESPN Plus, they have a ton of original content. To get ESPN Plus as a standalone app, it is $5.99. The bundle, which includes ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus, you can get all 3 apps for one low price of $12.99 by clicking my link. A great value for all the content you're getting. Use my link. It does help the channel continue to build. I am an independent creator. This helps me stay independent and buy more stuff for the channel, gear, and do housekeeping and maintenance as an independent. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Do you think it will happen? I do believe Errol Spence would really fight Canelo because he's been calling him out for years, and I don't think he's clout chasing like he really wouldn't. So if they can get it done, we'll see. But I have my reservations about that. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, Ego, signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.